What's going on? It's Defensive Tactics Solution. Back at it again. We did a tabletop review last video on the G-Force Jawbone, the 9mm PCC. And in the introduction of the video, we did take this out and we put about 150 rounds to break in this, this PCC. Clear. And we're going to go over some of the pros and cons that we found out about this PCC. So we're just going to get straight into it. One thing about this PCC was the price point on this firearm. It is about, you can find about $450. It's a great budget PCC. That was one of the attractions to this PCC, that you can come in with this firearm within within that great budget price. That was one of the positives. I like the fact that it did come with this adjustable pistol brace. And the fact that the ergonomics on this PCC, where it had a lot of ambidextrous within the fire control system, the mag release. There's actually two ambidextrous mag release on the side here and here, and then there's one for a storage for the mag release here, where you can store a magazine, a spare magazine here, a backup. That is also another thing that I liked about this, was you could store a magazine here, and while you're running a magazine here, so you can have a full setup. So when this runs dry, I can drop that, I can push this button, drops out another mag, and I can go straight to a reload. Also, the ambidextrous on the side charging, you can put it for left and right, so you can change it. So those were some of the positives. The Picatinny reel on top was nice. You can put any kind of optic here. They do come with like an M-lock rail here that you can put any kind of accessories there. How this shot was pretty smooth. It didn't have a lot of recoil. It was really easy to handle. The trigger was, a decent trigger. And I think that would be most of the ergonomics part of what was positive on that. The grip texture was nice on there, because you have a pretty good, it's pretty aggressive texture on that pistol grip, and the fact that if you like that, it does have the grooves and a nice undercut right there. Now, it uses Glock compatible mags, which is like, you can get the 33+1 magazines. Will work, excuse me, will work on this PCC. I did not have an issue running any of the different magazines. I did use Second Amendment mags. I did use, these are KCI. I did try the KCIs. I did have SGMs. I used the SGM ones. These are SGMs. And then I did use the stock G-Force mags that came with it. So I did use different magazines for this PCC, and it didn't have any issues running that. Straight out of the box, I did put a little bit of oil and we went straight to work, no problems. So those are some of the positives that I did have. Now let's go into some of the cons onto this. So number one, right off the bat, I don't know if it's just it needs to get broken in a little bit, but the side charging is a little bit gritty and stiff. And I don't like how the side charging handle is kind of like, it is fairly small. So you really have to get your, hook that knuckle or the finger around that to charge that. I did not like that. You really have to, maybe understand your hand placement on this pistol, because it is short and you don't want to go past that handrail. So actually gripping that, maybe you might want to put one of the hand stops there to just to guide, and maybe where to grab. But I've ran PCCs like this before, so actually understanding this is like, it's such a short, it's a 5-inch barrel, and it's you have such a short rail on this here, so you just have to keep it pretty tight on there. I did find that the accuracy on this PCC, when I was trying to shoot at a steel target at 50 yards, it was not as accurate as it could be. Even adjusting the red dot, I tried to go as small as I can on the dot. This at accuracy at 50 yards, it wasn't the greatest. So that was a downside that I have. And I understand the price point that this came in. This did not come with any kind of sights at all on this. This was just a complete flat top that it came with, and it only came with one mag. But luckily, my boys over at TAC 50, they hooked it up with an extra mag, so I actually had 2 mags that it came with this, and that was good. Let's get into another issue that I was having, that when you store the mag and you hit that button here on the side to drop that mag right here, sometimes it is a little tough and gritty, right? And it's like you have to really hit it good. See, I'm trying to pull it, but if you don't hit it just right, it won't go out. See, I'm hitting the button and it finally goes out. But at times, you have to hit it just right. But you have to yank it out and you have to press hard. So even if, sometimes it doesn't go. So that mag release on that, where you store the extra mag under here, is a little tough. I don't know what it is, but it is, it kind of binds up a little bit. I don't know what it is, but it does bind up. And sometimes it's hard to get that mag switched out. Now, another thing was, you can, you can change the direction of the BCG release here. But one thing I didn't like is the fact that if you can see that, there's a little bolt that sticks out right here, right? It does stick out a pretty good distance. So I don't like how that sticks out that far. I can't tighten it anymore, but that sticks out a pretty good distance. So, I didn't like that fact that was there. That was kind of like a thing that kind of, like, just the detail, that the fact that sticks out. And I saw that, that was another thing I did not like. Other than that, everything else on this PCC, was not bad. So from the pros and cons for what the price on this PCC is, this is an awesome buy. I'm actually fairly impressed with it on this PCC, and I'm excited to put a little bit more rounds through it. And actually, because last Saturday that we had a PCC steel match, I just didn't get enough time to go to the range, get zeroed in, and actually that's what I really wanted to run this. I might actually try to run a test on a PCC challenge between the Kuna and this one, and see how they perform against each other. So maybe that'll be a video that I do in the future. Sorry about that, big ass yawns. But that is something that I think that we're gonna do in the near future, is actually taking this out and seeing how this goes head to head against the Kuna. And we'll compare and contrast. Maybe we can do we can find a maybe the Strybog. We can take out the Strybog and compare that to this, and maybe some other PCCs out there. If anyone has a CZ Scorpion, I should have bought one when one came up. I passed up on it, so I'm kicking myself in the butt on the CZ Scorpion. But I did pick up a different, some different firearms that I will be doing some reviews on, and we are actually going to be getting into some other, like maybe military surplus stuff that I have gotten. So please hit that notification button, because that is something that I am going to be doing. Is I picked up some military surplus rifles and pistols that I am going to test out and do a range review on, and that'll be cool. So I hope you guys like the content. If you are in the market, looking for a budget PCC, keep this in mind. The Kuna is a great buy too. This is an awesome piece to add in the collection if you're looking for a decent PCC that's not going to break your pocket on that. Check out the GeForce Strybog. I did put the Crimson Trace CTS 25. This is a great optic. It's right about 50 bucks. I've been running it on quite a bit of my some of my range toys out there, and they run phenomenal. I haven't had an issue with them. I like them. And to put an optic on something and be able to hit the range, I've used them in competitions and stuff like that, and I have had no issues with them. I have one on this one, and I have one on my Kuna, and they've been fantastic. So I want to thank everyone. Please, you hear it all the time, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification button up here. In the comment section, put the little hang loose